We'll now move on to that compatibility mode that we talked about earlier. This is where you've upgraded from SLIC or PLC5 into the ControlLogix platform, but now you want to access the data in a sort of a ControlLogix native tag kind of way. And basically the trick here is that the RSLogix 5000 software provides this PLC 235 SLC mapping, and so a RSLogix 5000 array has to be a simple array of either bits, words, floats, etc. is created and assigned a file number, and the file number basically links back to the original SLIC or PLC5 file number. So for example, here we have an array called control bits with file number 20. This was actually originally B20. In the RSLogix software, you use the actual name, and there's a name and an array element. But when you communicate to the ControlLogix device, you use a simpler structure, something more akin to the original B2000. It's called bool as opposed to B, but it's essentially the same thing. So all your original data files, your integer file is now file number 7. You can give it any name you like. You can call it N so that it would be N7. You could call this F so it was F8. You can give it a full name. Really, in the communication side, all that really matters is this file number here. So I can communicate to this one as integer file number 7. And I think a picture paints 1,000 words there for sure. So I'm going to show you how that works in practice. Rather than start a brand new project this time, I'm going to show how I can add an additional driver to this existing project that we used earlier. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the PLC list, and I'm going to add a PLC. I'm going to add a Rockwell PLC. I might as well stick with DF1. I'm going to put it on COM2. What I'm going to do down here is I'm going to change its default type from SLIC to ControlLogix. This is DF1, so I'm going to be using the PLC mapping version of that with a ControlLogix. Now I'm back at my screen. I go to add a new device, another data display like we did before. This time when I go to enter the data, I'll find that in addition to PLC1, which has the traditional SLIC addressing, PLC2 now has one that deals with bools, ints, reals, etc. In other words, this is the compatibility mode for the CompactLogix. And if I've upgraded a SLIC to CompactLogix or ControlLogix, then typically the equivalent of N7 would be int7, the equivalent of B3 would be bool3, etc. So it's very simple to use. And that's really all there is to that. Same example with a lamp. This time choosing PLC number 2. I see only the compatible. I can of course take a bit out of an integer. That'll work too. And that's really all there is to the compatibility mode. The use of that mode is set up on the Allen Bradley RSLogix 5000 side.